There we go. So I'll start off by talking a little bit about our CPF network. We have over 25,000 members all across Canada, 8 branch offices, and volunteer groups active in 105 cities. We also have over 1,500 volunteers from across Canada and over 500 virtual volunteers participating in our virtual programs. So whether that's French tutoring, content creation, content reviewing, and even le concours d'art oratoire. As French tutors, we currently have 304 fantastic volunteers. We have 182 incredible content creators, 45 amazing content reviewers, and then since virtual concours d'oratoire is somewhat new, we have about 20 volunteers. And if anyone's interested in participating for the concours d'oratoire, please send myself or Jessica an email, and we'd be happy to get you started with that as well, or share some more information about it. So a little bit about Better Impact, which is our volunteer management system. If you've participated in the program before, you're definitely familiar with it. But on Better Impact, you can log your hours, sign up for tutoring sessions. On the homepage, we also have news and program announcements. And then you can also see your hours on Better Impact. So how much time you've volunteered with us over the current week, month, or year, and track your progress that way, which is very cool. You can also contact program management staff directly through Better Impact. That way, you don't even have to open up your email. You can send us an email directly through Better Impact, and then you can watch and complete your training or review it as well if you would like. The training remains on Better Impact throughout the entire program. So if ever you need a refresher or would just like to review any different things about the program, you can always head over to the training session and review those modules. And then we also have our volunteer portal, which is a website specifically for our volunteers. On the volunteer portal, you can find the content for your tutoring sessions. The content is uploaded weekly and is categorized by age and date. So when you are finding your content to work with your student, please make sure that you're finding the correct age and date. The topic sign-up sheet to create your content presentations, if you're a content creator, can also be found on the volunteer portal. We also have a topic request form, Merit Hub links for tutoring sessions, our social media accounts. We also post any news and program announcements on the homepage of the volunteer portal. And if you need us to sign off on a proof of hours request form, you can submit that directly through the volunteer portal as well. Now I'll talk a little bit about our content creation program. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into the program and some of the criteria that we have as a content creator. So about the program, content is created for kids ages 5 to 14 years old participating in the tutoring program. As a content creator, you can choose what age and which topic you would like to create your presentation for or on. If there are any topics that aren't listed that you would like to create content on, please fill out the topic request form on the volunteer portal. Unfortunately, we do run out of ideas after so long of running the content creation program, so we would love to have some more topic ideas, and that way volunteers are creating content on topics that are interesting to them as well. Please note that each topic has a due date by which the presentation needs to be uploaded by. However, if you need an extension by a day or even a week, please send us an email and we can work with you and arrange something for that as well. The content instructions and guidelines, they are categorized by age groups. So that would be 5 to 7, 11, or 8 to 11, and 12 to 14. The presentations are reviewed by our fantastic content reviewers after being uploaded and then before being used in the tutoring program. So the content guidelines for ages 5 to 7 years old, they should be a minimum of 20 slides in order to last the full 1 hour tutoring session. And when you're finding different activities, they should be quite beginner level, so around the A1 level. And when you're planning your activities out as well, they should also be related to your topic. We ask that you introduce 10 key vocabulary or keywords that are related to your topic, one icebreaker activity, two reading, two writing, two speaking, two listening activities, and then a 5 minute break about halfway through. That way, it gives the student a chance to either use the washroom, grab some water, or a quick snack, and then get back started with the rest of the presentation. There should also be a recap of the lesson at the end. So, whether that's a few questions, asking the student what they liked about the presentation, or just a few things that you could bring forth to another presentation as well, that'd be great. And then please also add speaker notes for the tutor. So if you're including any games or activities, please add some instructions in the speaker notes. That way the tutor knows how to complete the activity. And then all activities should also be followed up by comprehension questions or an activity as well too, just to ensure that the student is understanding what they're reading or listening to during the session. So for ages 8 to 11 years old, this is when the content should be starting to get a little bit more difficult. However, they are still at the beginner intermediate levels, so around A1 to A2. We do ask for a minimum of 25 slides compared to 20 for the first age group, and then 12 key vocabulary words related to the topic, one icebreaker, three reading, three writing, three speaking, two listening, and then again a 5-minute break about halfway through. And then for ages 12 to 14, we ask for a minimum of 25 slides just to make sure it's lasting the full 1 hour of the session. So some students are still going to be beginner intermediate, so around that A1, A2 level, but some students may also be at B1 depending on if they're in French immersion or core French. When you're signing up for your tutoring sessions, if you are a French tutor, there should be a little note left by the parents that say if the student is in French immersion or core French, so you can work with that as well if you're a French tutor. For this age group, we ask that you're introducing 15 keywords or vocabulary, one icebreaker, three reading, and then 3 to 4 writing activities. Same for speaking, and then 2 to 3 listening activities with a small 5-minute break as well. So then after you've completed your presentation, please make sure that anyone with the link can edit the presentation before pasting it into the sign up sheet found on the volunteer portal. CPF staff will then make a copy of your presentation, add our logo, and then upload it for our tutors to use after it's been reviewed. You can then log your hours on Better Impact under content creation and then add a brief description of what you worked on. So if you're working on multiple presentations, add the name of the presentation that you're logging hours for, and then also how your hours add up as well. And then a few resources for our content creators. For slide designs, we have Slide2Go, Canva, Google Slides, PowerPoint, and Slide Carnival. Those are all fantastic tools and resources in order to have slides that reflect your topic and theme, and making sure that they're organized and somewhat visually pleasing. It really helps keeps the students engaged and then interacting with the presentation during their session. If you are using AI to create your content presentation, it's a fantastic resource in order to use, put in an activity and ask it to pull some comprehension questions out, creating easy short paragraphs, stories, and dialogues for students to read, and then even just brainstorming different activities as well too. But if you are using AI, please review the level of French first. Modification may be required if the vocabulary or sentences are too difficult for the age you are creating content for. And then some other online resources are Kahoots, booklets, Quizlets, YouTube videos. Those are all fantastic. You could either find pre-existing resources or create your own using those applications. And then Radio Canada, podcasts, TFO, and TV5 Monde, they all have some amazing resources to include in your presentations as well. And we also have lots of other resources such as reading comprehension and more icebreaker activities that can be found under the content creator section on the volunteer portal.
Awesome. So I'll talk a little bit about the virtual French tutoring program. So we're going to be starting back on Monday, March 23rd, and the end date would be May 17th, 2026. It will be an 8-week program for this one. We do have two conflicting holidays, so Good Friday, which is on April 3rd, and then Easter Monday, which is on April 6th, that of which you won't see any tutoring sessions on those days. Currently, we have 146 students in the program for this term, and we have plenty of shifts that are currently available on Better Impact. Please note that it is a first come, first serve basis, and we ask that volunteers dedicate a minimum of 1 to 2 hours per week towards volunteering. You are more than welcome to take as many shifts as you would like. That being said, we do have plenty of shifts that are still available. So if you haven't had a chance yet to look at the schedule, or if you don't have access to it, please send me an email. But the full schedule has been posted already. Links will be uploaded to the volunteer portal this weekend under tutors and then Merit Hub info. Each session will be spent doing French reading, writing, listening, and speaking activities that are on a specific topic, which could be animals, spring activities, summer, food, dinosaurs, different countries, etc. Within those activities, you'll find dictées, reading books online, watching French videos, playing French games like Kahoots, Pictionary, and Hangman, etc. And then any spare time, so if you do finish a presentation early, you are more than welcome to do French homework with the child, or if you prepare activities in French, you can do that as well. Signing up for sessions. So on Better Impact under the Opportunities Canada calendar, you can find all available sessions for the entire program. Please sign up for sessions that match your availability. If you have signed up for a session that you can no longer attend, you can remove yourself from the session if it is before 24 hours from the start time. If you are unable to attend and the start of your session is less than 24 hours away, then please email us as soon as possible to make alternative arrangements. Please note missing more than 2 sessions without notifying us in advance may result in a dismissal from the program. So Merit Hub etiquette, please arrive at the hour of your scheduled time with the participant. You will need to let them in the call. To do this, you must click on the camera button after entering the session. Please display your first name when entering. Merit Hub usually works best with Google Chrome, so we suggest that you use Google Chrome to access the meetings. You'll have to also allow access for your camera and microphone when joining. Your camera and microphone must remain on throughout the entire session. That rule also applies to the students. Please dress appropriately, please use appropriate language, and please do not raise your voice. Do not end the session early. Only participants can end the session early. So tutoring session examples, you'll find the correct content under the volunteer portal. So you'll have to look for the age of your child you sign up to work with, and then the current week and date of the program. Connect to the child's link using the Merit Hub links on the portal. Try to complete all of the listed content in the presentation. Content will be uploaded every Friday for the next week. And if you finish early, ask the child if they have any French homework they would like help with, or if you have any activities you would like to do, you're more than welcome to. Don't stress out if you don't finish the entire presentation. If your child would like to only work on French reading comprehension, you are more than welcome to just do French reading comprehension with them. But you have all of those activities to pick and choose from just in case you need it. About the content. So if you're making modifications to the presentation, please make a copy so that it does not modify it for everyone. If you deem an activity too difficult or long for the student you are working with, you can modify it or shorten it to accommodate their level of French. For example, an activity asks for the student to write a paragraph. You can ask the student to write 1 to 2 sentences instead of a paragraph if that is too much for them. You can also use a content presentation for ages 1 year older or younger than the age of your student. So for example, if you're working with someone that is 8, you can use age 7 or 9 content. So you are not limited to that as well. If you're tutoring someone that's age 8 and their French is phenomenal, so they go to a fully French school, you are more than welcome to age it up as much as you need to. Vice versa as well. So if you're tutoring someone that's 8 and they are a true beginner, then start with the basics, go to age 5. So the goal for the virtual French tutoring program is to build each child's confidence in speaking and using their French, exposing kids to different French accents at an early age, promote bilingualism amongst Canada's youth, engage the kids through multiple mediums to show them that learning French can be fun. I'll go through a little bit about the program rules. So we do have a 15-minute wait policy for participants. If a student does not show up, you will not receive the hour for tutoring. You may log in preparation time, and please indicate what you are logging in time for. So if it's for prepping, please indicate that is preparation time. If it's wait time, please indicate the 15-minute wait time. Scheduling is done independently and based on availability. Never exchange personal information with parents. Never schedule sessions with participants outside of the program. Doing so will result in a dismissal from the program. Never ask for personal information from the participants. Treat everyone with kindness. And lastly, we do ask for mandatory feedback at the end of each session. We require some information on how the session went. Please log in time under the student's name. If you did not prepare for the session, please log in a minute just to let us know how the session went and maybe where that student's French level would be. Okay, I'll go through the code of care. So CPF aims to protect all parties involved in the tutoring program. Any virtual volunteers that see or hear anything that they suspect to be verbal, mental, or physical abuse of a child, you are required to report that to CPF. If for any reason a parent or student is mistreating you or harassing you, please report it immediately. Feel free to end the session early in this type of situation. Please write down as much information as possible and report it immediately to CPF volunteer management staff. Um, Email us as soon as possible. All right, and I'll hand it over to Nathan.
Perfect. So I'll talk a little bit about some ongoing support that we have for our virtual volunteers. So we have biweekly volunteer meetups, or upon requests, if anyone has questions, we can absolutely schedule a meeting or do a volunteer meetup as well. We have training videos and onboarding for all three of our virtual programs, the weekly content that is uploaded, and then also extra resources as well. And the content has been reviewed ahead of time by our incredible content reviewers. On Better Impact and the volunteer portal, we will post program news and announcements. So any changes or modifications or just upcoming events, they will all be posted there. And same thing for our social media as well. So if you'd like to follow our social media accounts on Facebook or Instagram, please do so. It's a great way to get quick, easy updates and just keep in check with the virtual programs. So incentives to continue volunteering with us at Canadian Parents for French. We have Volunteer of the Week, so a $25 gift card that is awarded and can be used absolutely anywhere. Volunteers who have dedicated a lot of time have had great feedback from parents, flexibility in scheduling, created or reviewed incredible content. These will be presented at the end of each program. We also can do reference and recommendation letters to volunteers who have completed over 40 hours of volunteer services with us. We can act as a reference on a resume, CV, or even provide you with a reference or recommendation letter if you're applying to a specific job or even university applications. We also do proof of hours letters. So if your employer or school university requires you to have a certain number of volunteer hours, after you've completed 10 hours of volunteer services, we can provide you with a formal letter indicating the number of hours you've completed and a description of your volunteer role. We also do lots of volunteer recognition and engagement. We've done many social media campaigns highlighting our fantastic volunteers and their achievements. We do volunteer awards, and then coming soon is National Volunteer Week. So that'll be the week of April 19th to the 25th. And we really want to recognize and celebrate all of our incredible volunteers who give their time, energy, and passion to strengthen our community. So stay tuned throughout that week as we highlight our incredible volunteers and celebrate the impact that you're all making in communities across Canada. Okay, and then for program contact information, as of April 1st, we will have a new email for the virtual programs. We will send everyone an email out in advance, but it'll be virtualprograms@cpf.ca, and it's a shared inbox. That way we can make sure that we are answering your emails on time, and making sure that we can give you a quicker response time as well. So if you do have any questions starting April 1st, feel free to send an email to that email. But in the meantime, please continue with your regular contacts, which will be myself and Shivani.
Awesome. So if you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself, you can raise your hand, you can type it in the chat.